Hey everyone, today I wanted to bring you a little bit of an interesting video since someone sent me this link to kind of talk about this, and that is the fact that there's an upcoming kind of like Splatoon ripoff game being made in China that is kind of starting to make the rounds. I think people are going to start paying attention to this the more the developers actually get some publishing support, and eventually, of course, official trailers begin to come out. And people are going to start to kind of lose their minds as just how ridiculous this whole thing is. So first and foremost, I kind of want to go over the entire backstory regarding who's actually making this. So it's coming out of China from the Beijing Hetu Game Company. These are the developers who are actually behind this specific project. And they are essentially a subsidiary of Beijing Hetu United Innovation Technology, which is part of Cyberverse, which is part of Huawei Hetu Joint Innovation Center. All that is to say, if you know anything about Huawei, you know they kind of make phones. They're a Chinese like manufacturer, if you will. They have a innovation center where they're kind of like exploring, of course, technologies and software. This is where Huawei Cyberverse comes in. They are like a mobile publisher. Underneath that, they have this Beijing Hetu United Innovation Technology, kind of like publishing branch and development branch, and underneath that are the developers who are trying to get essentially funding for this Splatoon 3 ripoff title. I know there's a lot to go over there, but pretty much that is the long and short of it. Now, as of right now, this game has no official name, and that is because according to some of the information coming out of Weibo, this is like Chinese Twitter, if you will, Chinese Instagram. I'm going to be leaving a link in the description below for all of this information if you want to check it out for yourselves. Again, this is all in Chinese, so there might be some mistranslations here and there, but essentially this game is being currently pitched for like streamers to kind of check out on their own, make videos on, kind of like talk about it, and they're gonna have like a fan kind of like vote to see what the game is ultimately going to be named, what it's ultimately going to be called, and essentially see if they could get more like social media like boost behind it, so they can eventually convince the publishers to kind of make it a live service game. Of course, this is going to be a mobile device game, most likely only ever available in China, if it ever even sees the day of light. But based on some of the footage you have been seeing already, it's relatively far along. So a polish, you know, visuals, performance, again, all that varies based on, you know, mobile device usage. But of course, this is just extremely interesting to see. Now, if you might be wondering, is this the first time you see a game being kind of like a ripoff of Splatoon? Well, no. If you actually look up like Splatoon China ripoff, there's probably a dozen or so videos. Even going back as to like early or maybe summer of 2017, where they were like, even when Splatoon 2 came out, multiple Chinese publishers and developers trying to kind of get something out of there, like basically make a game that was very similar to Splatoon. So much, in fact, that I believe they ripped off the assets of Splatoon 1 from the Wii U, and I believe they tried to just kind of like port those over even with the original maps and try to package that as a very own standalone game on mobile devices. And I'm pretty sure it actually came out in some areas. They just eventually ended up pulling it. Now, of course, in China, they have no sort of copyright law or any of that, at the very least for external, you know, IPs or anything like that. So this is why they're able to do this. You know, obviously, Nintendo will, I'm sure, eventually try to do something about it, but they don't really have any grounds to stand on when it comes to China, because in China, kind of things go their own way. It's the Wild West, if you will, when it comes to intellectual property. So, you know, it's not like here in the West, no developer will have the guts to be able to try that, where in China, things are a little bit more kind of loosey-goosey, if you will. So it's interesting to see this. Again, it's pretty far along. The clips you have been seeing so far are something like character outlines, like character overviews, like kind of like if you think of like Overwatch, they do something similar with that, where like the characters are tied to the weapons and tied to specific mechanics. That seems to be what they're trying to do. Like if you want to be a sniper, you play this character. If you want to be a short range user, you use this one, that kind of a thing. So that is what they're trying to do. It's not essentially just you make a blank character and then they can use every single weapon. They're more like hero shooters kind of thing, like Overwatch does. So it's just pretty interesting nonetheless. Now, again, we don't necessarily know what the name of this game will be, as we're just calling it a Chinese Splatoon ripoff as of right now. I'm sure other bigger channels are going to eventually start to cover this. So I just found it interesting. Once again, link in the description below for all the official information from the official postings from the Weibo side of things and the social media. the Cyberverse official Twitter account, which has been posting this. Well, not the Weibo account, not the Twitter account. Again, the kind of equivalent, and any other information there. If they actually end up launching this, I am certainly going to be covering it. Try to get my hands on a build of this game just to be able to talk about it, because I just find it so fascinating that they are so blatant about it. But again, China, you can kind of do whatever it is that you want. If you're brand new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to leave you guys with the rest of the gameplay so you guys can enjoy. See ya.